Hello, everyone. We're going to be doing our Awaken Journey episode 2 here. We're going to try and get through it. Obviously, my throat's still kind of a bit sore, but I know a lot of people have been wanting me to do a second live stream here. So here we are, middle of the afternoon for me. Just get everything turned on, make sure everything is working. Hopefully everything is okay. See here. Alright, so we have 2 people in the chat right now. Welcome, everyone. I do believe I still have subscriber-only chat turned on, so if you want to talk in the chat, just go down there and hit that subscribe button. Much greatly appreciated. Just helps keep the chat a little bit more clean. So today we're just farming up some stuff here. I'm trying to work on some teams to showcase here on the channel, obviously. This energy cost event's going on. We're at almost 2,500, it seems like. Gonna get 3 advanced summoning crystals. I'd rather much prefer 5-star booty almost every single time, or a 5-star pumpkin rather. Hey, what's up, Hydro? How's it going? I think my intro got botched on my stream now that I go back and look at it. Oh well, I don't care. I'll leave it there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my intro got a bit botched on the intro. Whatever. Freaking OBS let me down again. So, yeah. So, what I was getting back to. So, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to keep working on getting Sierra glyphed up. I think I have her now 3 out of 6 done, rather, on her level 4 glyphs. And then, of course, we got to do level 5s. Probably won't do level 5s in the stream today because those take forever. And I want to really try to iron out my Ash team because I need to start farming up some more Ash. I need some Avarice gear because I'm finally investing into my boy Urion. I have not touched Urion basically at all since I pulled him, and that feels like forever ago at this point. And I really want to build him up because I have a really spicy idea to use him for in PvP. So we completely glyphed him out yesterday and today. It took quite a while. It took about 90 meal tickets to get this done. I was getting a lot of bad luck with my glyph drops. I had a few 10 runs that gave me 1 drop. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So that sucked a lot, but we finally got that done. I gotta still go do his abilities today. I'm gonna have to go make a quick team and do some farming for some light, shards here. And when I'm doing that, I'll go ahead over to the chat and start answering some of your questions that some of you may have and kind of just converse with y'all because, you guys don't want to just sit here and always look at the farming because it ain't always the funnest thing to look at, obviously. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. I got him up to 5-star as well. He's going to be a vanilla, but my team strategy, my idea for it is, well, I'll just show you what I'm going to build here. So I haven't really been paying much attention to PvP for the past few days because I've been trying to build this team. And you'll notice I have 101 of those arena packs. So I have a lot of these I need to burn through. But I haven't really been using them because I'm trying to build this team. So if I want to challenge somebody, this is the team that I would basically be making. So my idea is, let me find her here. My idea is to use Windstrex to speed everybody up, obviously. And where is he at? I think oh, there he is. I'm going to use Light Cane for the invincibility. And then I'm going to use Urion as a setup man for my girl Nathalia. So this is the PvP team that I want to try and get ready to go because I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, Celestial Kane may or may not stay in the team. The only reason I want to keep him there is because my Urion and Nathalia are going to be kind of slow, but they're going to be very DPS oriented. So they're going to have a lot of crit crit rate. I'm sorry, crit damage, crit rate, attack. And then Urion, I might even give a little bit of focus to, depending on how I want to do that, because he has an AoE defense down on his ultimate. But every one of his attacks now have elemental advantage. So he's going to be getting an additional 50% damage from that. Not to mention, he's also going to be getting an additional 50% if I run him on an Avarice set. So that's an extra 100% damage on his 160% ultimate, which brings his ultimate now up to a 260% AoE nuke. And that's going to be even better on top of the fact that it's going to be on top of an AoE defense down. I'm going to be running the defensive down Purgatory spell and utilize that probably with Windstreaks right at the start of the fight, just as a backup measure in case my Urion for whatever reason gets resisted, because it's going to be a lot easier for me to put a bunch of speed and focus on Windstreaks than trying to push a lot of focus on Urion, because if I do that, he's going to be, lessening how much damage stats I can get on his gear. So that's my idea right now. I want to do that, and of course I'm going to be running the attack spell so I can slap that on Nathalia when it's time for her to do cleanup at the very end of the first round. And hopefully, if everything works out as intended, we can wipe the board. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're going to use Windstreaks to get all the buffs, push everybody up. We're going to use Celestial Cane as a backup option to survive, so we have that invincibility just in case the other team, which is of course going to be much faster than our Urion and Nathalia, even with our Windstreaks, that's probably going to be a real possibility a lot of the times. If I start getting into a lot of situations where that's not the case, I will swap out Celestial Cane for Sierra. That way, after Urion uses his ability, I can potentially maybe get Sierra to trigger her ability as well, nuking the whole field. And then again, we have Nathalia at the end to cleave, completely clean up and hopefully just take out everyone. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of work to build up here. Nathalia, I think her gear is okay-ish for now for where she's at, but Urion has no gear at all. So we have to farm Ash and get some Avarice gear going so we can slap that on him. And Celestial Cane and Windstreaks, I don't really care about. They're just going to wear whatever gear. They're really there just for their ability, not for their actual stats. Again, I will try to get some focus on Windstreaks, though, just to kind of help out with the addition of the Purgatory spell, because I want to make sure I get everybody on the enemy side to have a defense down. That's the main thing. We get that, then we might be able to go in and do some work. So it's going to be a lot of fun trying to build this team for PvP, but that is the idea. What's up, Barcode? What's up, Gregory? Safe, if I said your name wrong, I do apologize for that. Rogue, Charles, Ricard, Hackern is awesome. It is. That's a great team, Roger. Great team. What do you think about Goobag? Good or mid? Goobag's an interesting character because I feel like Goobag suffers from the fact that he needs so many dupes. Like, if we go into Goobag real quick, we'll talk about Goobag. We're going to be all over the place with today's stream, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe. So if we go in here and we look at Goobag, Goobag's biggest flaw is he really wants his second, he wants his maximum ascension on his trait, because +1 bonus turn per round per 100 speed. That's already pretty huge. +10 speed upon casting any ability, max 100 bonus speed. He's gonna, speed himself up using his skill sets as well. Matter of fact, Joseph is the fastest unit in the game by default. Now that's before you get into the battle. When we get into the actual battle, Goobag becomes the fastest hero in the game. And when he gets to be really, really fast, he can go multiple times in a turn. And with the leap ability, the leap spell that we get in the game, you could do some really crazy shenanigans of PvP, even in some PvE elements. But the problem is, even with his new buff of now a total of 300% damage to a random selection of enemies, he still doesn't hit very, very hard, because you still have to pour so much into that speed stat. And when you do that, you're taking away from his attack, HP, his defense, which is already pretty low, and he's a pretty squishy character. So he's not going to survive long term. So really, the only role that he's really fitting in PvP is just that quick, first turn setup. That's really about it. And it's not that great, to be honest, because like I said, you could do the same thing with Joseph. We've already had like 2 or 3 videos on the channel showcasing that you can use the elite ability with Joseph. And Joseph is an elite. You're going to build him up much faster for much less. The skill ups are going to be way cheaper. There isn't too much I can say about Goobag to make him be like, okay, he's a must-have character, a must-build character. He's just not. Now, there is some really cool ways you can cheese him that a lot of people may not be aware of. You can actually run him in a counter-attack team and do some crazy shenanigans with Arendelle. You can trigger Arendelle constantly, because if you build Goobag with a decent amount of speed and a lot of crit, he's going to trigger Arendelle quite often. So that's a lot of fun if you want to run that team for like Guild Boss, for example. Or even in like Bane's Wraith for farming skill ups or whatever. And you don't need any dupes of Goobag for that. You can run a vanilla Goobag and do the same thing. But, you know, it's a nice little cheese strat if you want. But outside of that, I really don't see too much value in our boy Goobag. PvP is a good place for him. The cheese strat for Guild Boss is okay with units like Arendelle and Jacob and, you know, things of that magnitude. But that's about it. Like, that's kind of where it ends for me with him. What's up, Pound for Pound? How's it going? Yeah, Goobag's a legendary. He should probably be an epic, if I'm being entirely honest. He doesn't really have any business being a legendary, unless they give him some more buffs, which they might do. You guys are going to see, let's see here. Let's go farm up. While we're answering questions and reading the chat, let's go ahead and, I need to really start doing more Hard Tower. I really do. Holy cow. But we're going to do some Lord of Holy Lights. I think I need to skill up my Urion 5 more times. 4 or 5 more times. Let me see how many I have here. I've got 7. I think, wait, maybe it's not 4 or 5. Let me double check. Let me double check real quick. That we know where, that way we can see where we need to farm. Urion. What do we see in here, boy? So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we need 5. So we need 43 more obsidians. Rip the dream, boys. Oh, the stamina. It's already yelling at me. It's like, you're going to use us all up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It takes so much resources to build up one unit in this game. We really need a recall feature. I'm probably going to make a video just talking about how much we need a recall feature in this game because of the nerfs, the buffs, the constant hero quote-unquote bug fixes. We definitely are going to need a recall because it's just too much resources go into these characters. And for them to be changed, sometimes, you know, for the better, but sometimes for the worse, it's just not good because you invest so much. Like Valak right now, Valak was probably one of the biggest hits, personally, that I've seen get taken because Valak, because like Santis got hit, right? But Santis's hit is manageable. You can still play around it. The curse set is manageable. You can play around it. But a unit like Valak, he got hit so hard because now instead of applying upwards of 2 to 3 on most occasions of poison stacks, he now only can top out at 1. That means he's losing 2 to 3 times his damage because of his recent, you know, bug fix. So that kind of really sucks for a lot of people who invested very hard on Valak. He, in my opinion, is just one of the hardest nerfs that we had recently. Thank you so much, Roger. Yo, I'm glad I get to catch a live stream. Do you also stream on Twitch? No, I did Twitch years ago. Didn't see the point of it. You can do everything over here on Twitter. Or I'm sorry, on Twitter. You can do everything over here on YouTube anyways. I just didn't see the point of trying to divide my audience at the time. I didn't really start on Twitch anyways, so I just never really cared much about Twitch, to be honest. Alright, so we need to make a team for light here. We need to kill the boss quick. There's only 2 waves, so it's fast. I'm not going to run Santis. Alright, we're going to run Natalia. I really need a second set of DPS gear. I really only have like 1 set, and right now Natalia's kind of wearing it. So that kind of sucks. We're going to, of course, run William. William isn't naked, is he? William might be naked. Oops. Is he naked? No, we got some gear on him. We got some gear on him. I got a curse set on him, but curse set, by the way, is useless on William because it does not proc his skill 1. In case you are not aware. So you don't really need that for him. It's just a set of gear that I had available. That's why he's wearing it. Might throw Joseph in there for just the buffs. You have gear on too? No, he doesn't. He's like pretty much naked. Ah, boy. Boy, oh boy. This is the part that I hate doing every day. You got to keep reshuffling your gear until you get enough sets of gear. It's such a pain in the butt, man. Such a pain in the butt. All right, let's see here. I think I'm going to throw our boy Zetlin in there for the additional, because he's going to allow me to do a bunch of damage, and then he's going to double it, which is fantastic. So we kind of want him to be slow. Well, actually, it doesn't matter if he... No, yeah, he needs to be slow. Otherwise, he's going to burn it on skill 1. Or, I'm sorry, on wave 1. How fast is our girl Nathalia right now? I think Nathalia is very, very slow. Let me take a look. Yeah, she's 128, so 128. Yeah, he's not going to get slower than that, unfortunately. I don't believe. Actually, what is his speed right now? His speed right now, yeah, he's already at 141, and he is naked. So, that's a shame. The only thing I could do is throw Zatlix in this team as well, make him faster. And then I can take out William and run a buffer in here. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I think that's the idea we're going to go with. Yep, we're just going to take Joseph. We're going to throw some gear on him real quick. This will work. This will do. All right. So we just need some speed on top of him. We'll take that off of Windstrex for now. My speed gear is the worst gear I have in this entire game because I do not farm. All right. So there's some garbage on Joseph. All right, so Joseph's going to be a buffer for Nathalia. He's going to be a buffer for our boy Zatlix. And then we'll throw a Zetlin in there. We just need to make sure that our Zatlix is faster than Zetlin. And then this should go pretty quick. Hopefully, that is the game plan. Anyways. So I need speed. Those will work. How fast that put him up to? Yeah, that'll do. That shall do it. All right. Random ass gear for Zatlix. That's fine. A little low in crit, but I don't care. All good. Sweet. All right, so we'll do that, and then we will throw in Zetlin. We need to put a little bit of gear on him, though, so he's not going to die so easily. Let's just see what's unequipped. Yeah, we'll just throw in some crap. Make sure none of it has speed on it, and then I'm not worried about it. Okay. No speed, right? Okay. No speed. Well, it has speed on it. Well, it's only 3. We'll be fine. Alright, and that has no speed. Well, this has focus. That'll probably be helpful for speed, though. What's this? Okay, we're good. Alright. Sweet. Randomly throwing on garbage gear, and that's the way we do it. Alright, let's see if this run goes pretty quick. Hopefully Zatlix can take out the first round real quick, and then take down the boss. I really need to work on my gear, though, for real. Come on. Hopefully you kill everything, Zatlix. That's the only thing we want you to do, buddy. Alright, sweet. That's all we wanted. Easy. Now I can read the chat a little bit here. Is Hector really a good legendary? I think Hector's a pretty good legendary, to be honest. He does some really decent damage. The only thing that sucks about Hector is we already have Aurak. And Aurak is already a pretty free-to-play character because he's in the event shop. So it's like, you don't really need a Hector. You also get an Asrina for free as well. You also have other better legendaries like Cyrus, in my opinion. I mean, he's good. He's got some really strong single target damage. He's going to be very good in Guild Boss. It's just, we just have so many other options available that are easier to get. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of the way it fell out. Maybe if they would give Hector, you know, maybe a little something on his kit. And apparently this team isn't going to work. which is unfortunate. All right, we got to try something here. We didn't kill it quick enough. I forget what team I used to have for this. I really do. Gosh, bro, you really need to look into Anna. She's dope. Oh, man, I know all about Anna. Anna's great. I just haven't been able to build Anna up. I got too many units I'm trying to work on. Like a million things in once, man. It's insane. We got to do something about that team. That team did not work right. It worked okay for the first couple rounds, but then Zealand kind of like held us back, and Joseph didn't really do much of anything. You know what? Okay. All right, I think I got an idea. I got an idea. We're just gonna go back to the dungeon. I have an idea. So we're not going. I'm not gonna multi-battle this time because I don't want to waste more stamina. Let's just take out Joseph for now and Zealand, and let's just throw in Santis, or not Santis. Let's throw. Well, hold on. Trying to think what I want to do here. I could go the slower route. But we'll throw in William for the counter attacks. That'll probably help quite a bit with our damage. And my rogue, I need to make him 6-star too. He's really good. I like him. I don't really have any buffers outside of the couple that I can get from William on Nathalia. And I do have the spells that could help as well. Just lacking a buffer right now. And I could throw Joseph back in there. The William might do the trick, to be honest, but you know what? We don't even really need all that many buffs on Nathalia anyways. We're only fighting one target, so yeah, I'll just slap Santis in there. That should be fine, honestly. All right, back to the chat. Is it still viable to build Charles plus Rogue? Yes. Yes, Charles is still good. Because, yeah, he got nerfed 100% defense. But with Hackrin and, a really strong set of Vanguard gear, he could do very well that way if you're not looking to be, very quick with your runs. If you're looking for more of a quicker build for Charles, especially if you're doing like Guild Boss, you could build Charles with a curse set. Obviously, he's going to lose a little bit of defense because you're not going to be running full on Vanguard, but it will allow him to attack more often. Because the only thing that sucks with Charles now is he still works as good as before, but now he's going to be taking way more rounds to do what he did before. So he's still a very solid unit. He's just much slower now because his defense isn't going to get quite as high as it did before. So you could be easily looking at like 30, 40, 50 round fights, and you don't really want to do that because that's a long time of sitting there waiting for things to happen. So I would say build him with a curse set, give him a Vanguard set on top of that, run him with your boy Hackrin, try and squeeze as much defense out of you as you can out of Hackrin. A lot of people like to run Hackrin on Revival set, but if you're running him with Charles, I would go full Vanguard just to try and make up for some of that lost defense that he got from the nerf. Because honestly, Hackrin is usually ran with a healer anyway, so he doesn't really need a Revival set, and he's so dang tanky anyways. He's going to be the last person to die regardless, most times. So that team worked, by the way, so we're going to go ahead and stick with that. But, yeah, that's just some advice there for Charles users out there. Anna's also a very good substitute. If you want to try and play around with some Anna, feel free to. She's very, very good. She doesn't do true damage, though. Keep that in mind. But I have a cool idea that you can make your Annas very, very powerful. And I really wanted to do this one day when I get the chance. Maybe in the future I will. We'll see. But I think Anna with full-on Terra set with a crit on her ring would do the trick. Don't worry about building up attack on your Annas. We're looking at Anna the wrong way. Everyone's looking at Anna the wrong way. I think the best way to utilize Anna is to build her with 100% crit rate and all HP. The reason why I say this is true damage cannot crit, but you know what can crit? Anna can crit on her bonus damage, because since her bonus damage is not true damage, it can crit. So since it scales to her HP, if you get her as high as you can on HP and you build her with crit damage and crit, that additional damage is going to outweigh what you're going to get from her attack percentages. So that's the way I would build Anna, to make her very, very powerful. Build her with high HP, crit damage, and crit rate. That's it. Don't worry about attack. Hey, there you go, pound for pound. That's the way to do it, man. Because I was sitting there thinking about this like last week. I was like, you know what? Anna could be very powerful if we just build her all crit with HP. Because that's what her kit wants. You could run Hakron, Anna, and Charles together if you want. That's a great combo. That's a great combo. And then for your fourth character, you could kind of run whatever you want. What should be the minimum focus on Santis? I would say get around 60 and 70%. That seems to be the sweet spot for a lot of these stage 12s. So yeah, around 60 to 70% is where I'm looking at for a focus on any of your end game characters that you need to get a lot of debuffs on. 60 to 70%. If you start noticing resistance still pop up here and there, just go 5 at a time. That's what I like to do. Just go 5% at a time until you stop seeing that resist pop up anymore. But, you know, like I said, 60 to 70 should be good. If you still see it pop up, go 5% more. And then hopefully that's enough. If not, go 5% more. Just do it like that. Don't over focus on your focus, because then you're just basically wasting your stats, and you don't want to waste stats on gear. You want to try and utilize as much, you know, stats as you can. Like, you don't want to go in and build a unit with 130% crit rate. You don't want that. Yeah, you're going to crit all the time, but with the lack of crit resistance in this game anyways, I mean, it's there, but it's not very apparent. It's just no point throwing stats away like that. That's why a lot of DPSs that have 40-50% resistance, it's terrible. We don't want that. And I made a video about that, of course, with my glyphs the other day. It's just, you know, you want to be very, very cautious with your gear. Obviously, you have to use what you got for a while. But when you start getting to the point where you're just farming gear over and over and over and over again, you definitely want to start looking for those things and try to be a little bit more patient with your gear. That way you're not wasting all your resources. Because if you see a piece of gear that has 2 good stats but 2 bad ones, take it to +6. If it rolls into one of those bad ones one time, that gear is garbage. I like to go for gear that has at least 3 decent stats. That way, even if there is a 4th bad stat and it rolls on, you know, into it maybe just one time all the way to +15, I can live with it. But when it rolls into it twice or 3 times, it's a dead piece of gear. When's Black Clover coming? Later this year, and I am hyped. I am very excited. I freaking love Black Clover. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Cannot wait to play that. Hopefully, we're gonna find out the first week of February, I do believe, how Ace is doing with its global launch revenue-wise. So we're gonna see how well they're performing. If they're performing well, I will stick around with the game, obviously. But if I see it's dying, you know, obviously, you know, everyone's gonna do what they're gonna do. But I wouldn't mind playing Ace and then the new Black Clover. I also want to try Cross Duels. I really loved that during closed beta test. I know Konami just released Master Duels, but I'm not really a big fan of the TCG, so I didn't really want to get into that. But I did like the Cross Duel game. I don't know when that's dropping either. And there's some other games I'm looking out for this year as well. So it could get very busy around here very soon, depending on how many games are out at the same time and how many are doing well. Because if they're all doing well, I'm going to try and play a lot of them. But we'll see. It's going to get pretty nuts around here. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. I won't even be shocked if we get a new Bleach game as well, because as a lot of you know, the final arc for Bleach comes out later this year, and Bleach Brave Souls has been around for several years now, like 5 or 6 years. So, you know, they might be wanting to cash in on that and make a new Bleach mobile game that's a little bit more up to today's standards, and that would be pretty hype too, because we already have Jujutsu Kaisen, which is coming out with a mobile game that looks beautiful, and that's another amazing anime. You got Demon Slayer coming out with their own mobile game later this year that's been delayed like twice, but that's only going to be on, I believe, Japan. I don't think we're getting a global version of that this year unless they change their mind. But so you got Demon Slayer, You've got the new Full Metal Alchemist game. You've got the new Black Clover mobile game. Like, there's so many mobile games for animes coming out this year and into next year. So it's going to start getting pretty interesting around here because we kind of had a dead market. You know, 2020 was a pretty bad year for mobile games for the most part. Hey, we're level 60. Let's go. So it's going to be kind of interesting going into next year and in the rest of this year, where a lot of these games that were delayed and put on hold are going to now start releasing. So it's going to become, you know, it went from a dry market to it might become a pretty competitive market. And that's healthy for the game industry. That's good for YouTube. That's good for Twitch. That's good for players. Give everybody options. And that's exciting. So we're going to see what happens. Hey, Josh, you got a spot open in the disc or in the guild? I don't know. I'll check. You'll have to ask me after the stream in the Discord, because I'm gonna have to check later, because there might be a few people I might need to remove if they've been inactive. I try to check it like every 2 days, so we'll have to see. Did you try 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross? Oh, I tried it. I played it for a while. I played it a couple weeks before global launch in the JP version, and then I played it again during global version. I made a lot of different types of content. You can actually see the videos on this channel. There's a lot of them. I even ticked off the JP players, not the JP players per se, but the global players who play JP. Because I told them something was going to happen with a certain blue Meliodas, and they didn't want to listen because they all thought they knew everything. And when Blue Meliodas came out and the other unit didn't come out yet, I told them exactly that was going to happen. They didn't listen, and boom, and it happened. And then I had people come and tell me after I quit that game, Josh, you were right. You were right the whole time. Of course I was right the whole time. I already knew it was going to happen. I told them. They didn't want to listen. Yeesh. Oh, well, shit happens. Yeah, mobile gaming is getting big. It is getting very, very big. A lot of companies are starting to see the value in mobile games. A lot of companies are starting to transition from just being console only, PC only, to going into now mobile as well. There's a lot of game studios that are opening up, you know, new divisions in their companies that are specifically for mobile game design. So mobile gaming it's on the up and up, and it's making so much money. I mean, you guys and gals know about Genshin Impact, how much money that game is making just on mobile alone between iOS and Android. And then you got other games like Coin Master that nobody can ever dethrone as the top grossing game on the market. It's still to this day the top grossing game on the market. I don't know why people love that game so much, Coin Master, but it makes bank. It makes major bank. So a lot of people are wanting to get a piece of that pie. They're wanting to get into that into the mobile industry, and a lot of people are also starting to realize the power of cross-platform. You know, I've been yelling into a vacuum of space, I feel like, for the last 5-6 years, telling these companies, what are you doing? Make the game work for mobile, console, and PC. All of them. Cross-platform play. That's where the money's at. That's what people want. And these companies for so many years felt like they just kept fighting the system. Now they're all wanting to come out and do full cross platform. And then now more games are also starting to come out with global first instead of just JP only, South Korean only, Taiwan only, China only, you know, Southeast Asian only. Some games are even in Russia only. You know, now they're coming out more with games that are like global right out of the gate, which that's what it should be. If you can take care of all the licensing fees and the issues and stuff like that, and you can pick up all the publishers you need for all the various regions, and you're following the rules, and you're accepted on all the different marketplaces, then do it. Come out right out of the gate global, because that's the best way to do it. I swear to God, a game is more healthy when there is no previous version, because what happens is when a previous version of a game exists and then it comes out later, All you see is people going straight to all the different communities like, what's the tier list from JP? What's the tier list from Korea? What units were they using? What events did they get? What banners should we save up for? And then you know what you're doing? Pardon my French, but you're going to fuck yourself, because what's going to happen is they're not going to follow the same direction as the previous version, because you're now under a new publisher. And that publisher is going to have their own monetary design and ideas for the game. So their events, their pricing, their pacing, everything is going to be different from the previous versions. So everything you're expecting them to do there, they're not going to do here. And it just causes a toxic community. So I prefer games just to be global right out of the gate. It just saves everyone a headache. Thanks so much. You have Evelyn first Dawn, but knowing how to build her? Well, since they nerfed her, unfortunately, Late Dawn Evelyn used to be probably the #1 unit in the game going into CBT 4 and then into soft launch. But soon as we got on soft launch, we noticed some changes with her. So the first big major nerf to her was she doesn't allow your team to get all of their additional turns at the start. Now they get their additional turns at the end of the round, which kind of sucks. It's still decent, but it really does suck. And her trait has also been reduced as well. But I would say you just build her like a prototypical tank. HP defense, some speed. That's pretty much it. That's all you really do with Light Dawn Evelyn. Light Dawn Evelyn. That's all you really do with her. She doesn't really output any damage. I mean, you could throw a little bit of focus on her if you want to make sure you keep, getting her defense down on her skill 2, I believe. I mean, you could throw a little bit of focus if you want, but more or less, she's just an HP defense with some speed. I mean, that's pretty much it. All right, so we got 4, actually, out of that 10 run, which is surprising, and we are still very, very far away. And now you guys and gals know, if you're a new player, why I stress, and I can't stress this enough, if you are a new player, do not invest in legendaries. Don't do it. By the time we get done farming all the skill ups for this Urion, I could have farmed up 3 or 4 units that are epic or elite for all of their skills. By the time I get done finishing just this one character. Because it takes forever. You're at the mercy of RNG for one. And you're also using the maximum amount of stamina from skill up dungeons. And the dungeons are much harder because, we're doing 9. A lot of free-to-plays are going to struggle just to do 7. And 7 is the minimum to get obsidians. And you're going to need 90 of them for a legendary. You're going to need 90 obsidians. You just saw in my 10 run on stage 9, we got 4. You need 90. So keep that all in mind if you're a new player and you're thinking about building up a legendary early game. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do I think Ignite needs a buff? No. Ignite is fine. What Ignite lacks is units. We need more heroes that have Ignite mechanics. We need an Ignite leader. If you think about it, this game has leaders for some of these dot teams. Gangello is the leader for Poison. Scarlet is the leader for Bleed. Where's the Ignite leader? We don't have one. You know who should be the Ignite leader? Balberith. You want to know why Balberith should be the Ignite leader? He's literally a walking fireball. He is lava. He's walking around. He's a demon with fire for his whole body. How is he not an Ignite unit? Make it make sense, please. How is Balberith not an Ignite unit? I don't understand it. And the fact that he is a legendary, he could easily fit that role as an Ignite leader. He could do like 100% additional damage for Ignite, fully traded up, 50% if he wasn't, kind of similar to what Gangello does, and a little bit similar to what Scarlet does. He could also do AoE Ignite stacks, which would help, guess who else? our girl Asrina, with 2 S's, by the way. Don't argue with me. That's her name. It's Asrina. And, you know, she wouldn't be an Asrina with 2 S's if she had another unit like, you know, like what I'm explaining to you now, that could do multiple ignite stacks on multiple targets easily, because then her skill 2 would be useful. Her ultimate would become even more useful. Overall, she would just be more useful in general because she'd have a really good partner to pair up with right now, not named Hassel. And Balbrith would be really, really good to use for a lot of different types of content. I just hate that right now the whole game is like, you know, poison this, poison that, poison this, poison that. I want to see more bleeds. Bleeds used to be a strong team in beta until they got rid of the bleeds on Avera. They changed her kit, and they also took the bleeds away from Marion Shadowblood. So the bleed team just took a nosedive. Right now, you've got Scarlet and, Helmar? That's pretty much your bleed units. That's not enough. So I would love for the whole bleed team to get elevated. I would love for the Ignite team to be relevant for the first time ever. And when I mean ever, the Ignite team has never been a thing at any point in this game's history. I would love to see an actual proper Ignite team. So, you know, we need to make some changes, either give some units Ignite or bring out some new units that have Ignite in their kit, a very good kit. So that's my thoughts on Ignite. You know what, Michael? That'd be a cool idea, because I'm just now thinking about this. What if Balbrith had Ignites on his kit, but his real bread and butter was his own personal debuff, a personal dot called Lava, like Lava Burn or something like that? That'd be pretty dope. Like, you'd have Ignites kind of like, you know, there as, you know, kind of an ignition source for like Asrina or Hassel or whoever else is running Ignites as a nice little dot, but then he has his own big personal dot for himself, which is some kind of like lava, which is kind of like 2 times the damage of a normal ignite or something. I don't know. Or maybe if he has enough ignite stacks, he can turn them into lava or something. I don't know. I'm getting too damn creative around here, but that would be a lot of fun just to see something cool like that. A really unique mechanic for him for sure. I don't know. I just feel like he's not fiery enough for a dude who's literally built out of fire. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's literally a fire demon, and he doesn't have any fire moves. It's weird. I'm trying to figure out now, since I have limited resources, would Anna or Rogue be better to 6-star first? I'm going to run Charles, Rodira, or Blackhorn plus Hakron. Okay. I would say Anna is probably going to be a better choice than Rogue. And the reason why I say this is because Anna, you'll be able to output a bit more damage quicker. Whereas Rogue is more the long-term plan. Like, you want to sit there in a long, drawn-out fight. It'll take some time. Now, if you are fighting multiple targets that do AoE, then Rogue is going to shine more, because he's going to be hitting that counterattack off on multiple enemies per round, whereas Anna can only hit 1 target per round, and that's it, and she doesn't have any counterattack ability. So it's going to really depend on what type of content you're trying to clear here. And they're both wood elements, so they're both going to have an advantage in Tide. I will say, though, one thing, Anna's going to be generating all that damage from all of her skills, whereas Rogue is only going to get it from that counterattack trait and his ultimate when it resets, but it has a long cooldown. So you got to kind of like, you know, weigh the pros and the cons of both here. But since you're running Hakron, I mean, it's tough because they both want Hakron in the team anyway. Yeah, Solo. Yes, it is. Hey, what's up from Brazil? Nice. What's up, Brendo? Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. Welcome. Build recommendation for Okubi? I wish I had a Kubi. I tried to pull the boy yesterday, 40 pulls, couldn't get them done, didn't have them. So I haven't really looked too much into how I want to build him gear-wise yet because I don't have him. But I would say he's going to need focus. I would say he's going to need at least 60, 70% focus because he is a debuff heavy unit. Looking at his kit, he didn't really look like he needed speed because he's more of just an ignition source. He's just going to be there to be a support casting character that's going to, you know, support your other dot users on your team. So I'd say probably HP defense and some focus. That looks to be kind of what I would do with him. He's not going to be there as a damage dealer, that's for sure. And I'm not entirely sure how much damage and what it scales to. His what's it called again? The his ultimate, the debuff that he puts on all the enemies. I can't think of the name off the top of my head now. The Rosa or whatever it was called. That explodes, I guess, after a couple turns. So I'm not sure what that damage is being scaled to. That's my only question. I don't know what it's being scaled to. If I knew what that was being scaled to, you know, that might change my mind a little bit on how I want to gear him up. I want a unit that can do massive nuke damage. Well, solo, that'd be your girl Nathalia that you get for free. She does massive nuke damage. You can use Nathalia as a free-to-play option because you get her for free now from your mailbox for the time being. Definitely build her up. I would recommend that probably being a lot of your, you know, a lot of you new accounts. That'd probably be your first 6-star character. That's what I would advise, to make her your first 6-star. For sure, because she's going to be carrying you for a long time. And then even when you get to end game, you're still going to be using her for a lot of different content. So yeah, I would definitely make her my first 6-star. All right, ladies and gentlemen, be right back. One moment, got to get a drink. Alrighty, we're back. Let's see here. What about Valeria? Yeah, she's very good. She's a really good AoE nuker. You're gonna have to give her some serious attack power, though. She's definitely gonna take some really good gear investment. Squeeze as much damage out of her as possible, so she works correctly. She's really solid. He was buffed since beta. Used to be pretty bad before beta, let me tell you. Is Windstrex a good addition for reroll? I got William. Windstrex is really good. A lot of people are going to be using her long-term in PvP. No one apparently wants to utilize the Joseph strat very often, so because of that, Windstrex is going to be the fastest character in PvP. Because no one's using Goobag, no one's using Joseph. Kyle gets outsped by her by 1 speed, which is hilarious. And then you have the tank meta, which they're all going to be slow anyway. So, yeah, you know, your Windstrex is going to last you quite a while in PvP. Also really good for units like Savannah, who really needs to have her cooldowns reset immediately to do some crazy damage. By the way, my Savannah is finally done. I got her done yesterday as well. She's now 6-starred, fully glyphed. I just got to find a place for her now, and then I'll try and showcase her best I can. Obviously, she's going to be good on the guild boss, but the guild boss isn't here right now, so I can't really showcase her there yet. But I got her done. She's not very good for Tide. I tried her in Tide yesterday. It didn't really do anything. I mean, she was useful. She did a lot of damage. She was doing like 14, 15k, which is fine, but it didn't really make the runs any faster. So it just, you know, it really wasn't worth it. I think Freya should become an epic with a better kit, and I wished Evelyn was multi instead of single and ult. She literally better than Zac. I've built up Zac fully glyph 6-starred, Evelyn glyphed 6-starred. I ran them both, and honestly, I'm just gonna say this: Zachary is not that great. I'm just gonna say that. I know that might irritate some people. That's not what they want to hear. Some people have probably built him up. But it is what it is. Zachary, even with his new buffs, to where he can basically just use his trait now when other allies kill something, he just doesn't have the damage output. He just does not have it. If you run Nathalia and Zatlix together, that's a far better damage combo than anything you're going to do with Zachary. It's just the way it is. Zac just does not do very much damage. And his trait, which I believe is what, like 80%, it's 80% of very low attack is what it is. That's the problem. And if you try to build him with high crit damage, your attack's probably going to be even lower. He just does not have a high attack stat, unfortunately. And that's where he kind of falls off after like mid game. He's going to be good early game to mid game. He's going to be great. But when you start getting up in like, you know, stage 10, 11, and 12, he just starts to really fall off. And unfortunately, that's where you're going to be using him most. Because you don't need him at all in story mode. Especially when you start building up your Zatlix and your Nathalia. You just will never need Zachary in story. Period. You just won't use him. In trial, Nathalia is going to do everything for you. Zatlix is going to do everything for you. Your Santis is going to do everything for you. Because you're going to run either a high-end DPS or a poison team for trials, or you're going to run a tank team with units like Charles, Rogue, and Anna. So there just really is no place for Zachary at end game. So he just falls off, unfortunately. And the same thing happens with Evelyn as well. They just don't have enough damage output to maintain a position in your team when you get to end game, among other units that you already have available and build up. It's just, you know, it's just how it is. So yeah, maybe they'll buff him again in the future. I don't know. Do you think more new champs faster since all free-to-play champs getting nerfed? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Are you asking if you think we're going to be getting new heroes faster, like release faster, because a lot of the free-to-play options are getting nerfed? Is that what you're saying? Light Zachary good for PvP? Yes, because Light Zachary actually can ignore defense, which is very, very strong in PvP, because you're going to be facing a lot of the tank meta. And the tank meta is going to be running a lot of Hakron, Blackhorn, Bruzak, Brand, you know, Firebrand. They're going to be running Mythasia. So they're going to be very tanky teams that are just going to try and stall you out for 6 rounds, so you can get, you know, so you can basically die from the lightning. So having units that can ignore defense or do true damage is very, very powerful. Units that can strip away buffs or steal them or completely ignore them are also very powerful. Units like Vance, Edicris, Borden. Actually, Borden got nerfed recently, so he might not be as good anymore. But yeah, units like that are going to be very, very strong. Otherwise, you need a super, super duper cleave team. You're going to need, you know, a team with like Sierra, Avera, Nathalia, Urion, which we're currently working up for right now, which I know a lot of you don't have Urion. He's a light, you know, light dark legendary. Light brand as well. You know, those units are going to be very, very powerful because you can't rely on poison team either in PvP because the tank team has too much cleanse. So you have to nuke them quick or you have to nuke them often. That way you can outpace their healing and defensive capabilities. If you can't do that, you won't beat them. So, you know, you got to think of some crazy strategies to try and get through some of their defenses. And they have a lot of them. They got cleansing, they got shields, they got healing, high HP, high defense. You got units that are no joke in the 50k HP mark when it comes to units like Corrupt Aurak. And apparently a lot of the players in the top 100 seem to have Corrupt Aurak on a lot of the different realms that I've seen so far in PvP. I see a ton of Corrupt Aurak, and that dude can get up to 40, 50k HP. He can get up to boss levels of HP. It's ridiculous. And you have 6 rounds to take him and other units down. It's just not feasible. And in some cases, it's almost impossible. But that's the defensive teams you have to deal with. And it's going to be pretty much a lot of the same when it comes to like Guild Wars and Real-Time Arena probably later on. Real-Time Arena, you're going to really be able to abuse it because you could just run a really strong tank team and just sit there and stall your opponent out live. Make them have to sit there and wait and watch their own demise happen right in front of them with no way out or nothing they could do about it. Kind of disgusting. So I don't know, maybe they'll do something with the tank meta in PvP. Maybe do some more rebalancing with those characters. I don't know. But I do know they just have a lot of synergy right now. Because you've got defensive up, you've got HP up. They have shields, they've got cleanse, they've got taunts. It's crazy. The tank team is stacked, man. It is absolutely stacked. I'm not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels. I'm just not a big fan of the TCG. I just never really was a big fan of the TCG. The only TCG that I ever really got into over the years was the Pokemon TCG. I did enjoy the Pokemon TCG. I think it's just because the Pokemon TCG is so quick. It's very quick paced. I love quick paced card games. I'm not a fan of those people sitting there shuffling for an hour and pulling out 20 different cards in one turn, and I'm just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, checking, waiting, checking, waiting, checking again, waiting for them to do 20 different other moves. You know, going to the bathroom, making a sandwich, paying a few bills, going to work, coming back, still waiting to take my turn. I can't get into the TCG, man. Can't do it. What to spend as a new player? Do you mean money or resources, Roger? I do want to play the Cross Duels though, Ta. If that does come out soon for mobile, I definitely want to play that because that was a lot of fun in beta. Here feels like the drop rates for glyphs have been nerfed. I've run 10 runs in chapter 8 and no Lego glyphs at all. Oh, Tyler, I had that for the past 2 days, man. I've burnt through over 150 meal tickets in the past 2 days just trying to grab some glyphs for 2 characters. I've had some runs of 10 that gave me nothing. I've had some runs that would give me 1 or 2. And that was it. Like, there was like 1 or 2 instances that entire time where I think I had more than 3 drop in a 10 run. It was ridiculous. And I'm doing like the highest stage you possibly can for these farms. And it doesn't matter. It's just the RNG was just not on my side. I don't know. It was pretty bad. Well, A-Wolf, we should know the first week of February. Sensor Tower should have that information for us, hopefully. And we'll be able to see, you know, a rough idea of what this game's making right now on iOS and Android for the remainder of January. Since it is now globally released, it's on the global market. So hopefully we can start to see those numbers and really see where this game is financially, because that'll tell us a lot about what they're probably going to be planning to do going forward. If they're making a bunch of money, it's a blessing and a curse, because the positive is they're gonna, they're gonna continue updating the game and making the game. The bad thing is, though, they might be looking at it as, okay, we're making a bunch of money, so players must be satisfied with their experience, which obviously isn't the case. A lot of people are calling for a lot of game change, for a lot of changes in the game, especially when it comes to nerfing and rebuffing units. So we definitely need a recall option for sure. That would solve a lot of that problem. But yeah, a game succeeding right now, this game rather succeeding, is a blessing and a curse. Because as I said, that's great. The game's doing well. We can keep playing the game. It's here to stay for at least a while. But again, it can also give them, the developers, the interpretation that, hey, we don't need to really worry about making the game too much better because it's already making money. So it's a blessing and a curse. Is the team I'm running able to do much of the story, Andre? The team I'm running, I just kind of threw this together just to do the light boss here, because you got to kind of kill the light boss pretty quick or he just nukes you to death with true damage. But this particular team is not bad. The only thing is, for this team, if you're trying to run this team in story that I have right now, don't run Santis. Poison is way too slow to run in story. There's just no need for that. I would just replace Santis with a Connor or a Joseph, and then you're good to go. Then you have what you need. And just make your Connor or your Joseph the fastest unit on your team. That way he can give, your rest of your team your buffs, your attack buffs, your shield, your attack buffs, or your defense, or whatever. And then you'll be okay, because then your Nathalia is going to keep nuking, your Zalix is going to be nuking, you're going to have your William there for your counterattacks, your defense down, your joint attacks with a skill 1. So yeah, that's a solid story team. Just replace Santis. A lot of people outside of the Discord are complaining about nerfs and lack of buffs. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely the biggest issue right now with the game. A lot of people are worried about building up units for them to just get nerfed the next day. What's very much unfortunate for me is, as a content creator, I'm on the fence like, okay, should I even showcase a unit? Because if I do, are they just going to nerf it because they're going to watch my video and think they're too broken and nerf it? And the reason why I say that is because of a lot of the units that I've mentioned and talked about here on this channel, when I bring them up, they get nerfed the next week. If you don't believe me, look at my track record. Look at all the units that we've talked about on this channel, and then look at all the units that's been rebalanced. Pretty much all the units that we've covered, for the most part, have been rebalanced already in the soft launch into global. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane. Like, we talk about Charles. Hey, this dude's really, really good. No one else is talking about Charles. No other content creator was talking heavily about Charles. I bring Charles to the attention of everybody. People see the power of Charles. Boom. Now you're hearing, okay, Charles is too OP. He needs nerfed. He's too strong in tower now. He wasn't strong last month, but now he's strong. He's too strong this week. And he gets rebalanced. Bug fix. We talk about the true damage team for free-to-plays. Ricard, Rogue, Hakron. Who got nerfed a week later? All three. Rogue got hit because Hakron got nerfed on his ultimate. He lost about 30% max HP because of that. And then Ricard got hit hard. I don't know why the hell they hit Ricard so hard. They made his skill 2 garbage for healing. They took away some of his damage mitigation. And since Hakron also got nerfed, he also lost that 30% max HP. So, yikes. They're out to get everybody. We talked about then a lot of content creators have talked about the poison team. They nerfed the crap out of that. Well, they tried to. Then we showcase Valak. Valak gets hit. Another bug fix. I don't know, man. I don't know. I showcased Light Brand the other day. They're going to nerf him. I doubt it, but it would be interesting. Matter of fact, I still need to make a video talking about the #1 best unit in this game. And spoiler alert, for those of you that are in this live stream, it's going to be Light Brand, the strongest unit in the game right now. What he does is incredible. He is out of this world insane because he literally doesn't care how much HP you have. He doesn't care how strong you are. He doesn't care about anything. He goes in and you just melt. Your HP just starts to disappear because of the way his kit is designed. His kit doesn't require any debuffs. His kit doesn't require any high-end attack. His kit doesn't require long-term cooldowns. He just goes in and nukes everything just by default as a vanilla unit. And, you know, people are going to be like, well, he's a lighter dark unit. He should be powerful. But he's more powerful than even all the other light and dark units. He craps all over the other light and dark units because of what he can do. It's insane. Are they going to nerf him? I don't know. He's your carry at the moment. Hey, I don't blame you. If I could re-roll for Light Brand, I would. Because he is, as I said, he is my best unit in this entire game. For reasons I just mentioned. He has very little in the way of weaknesses. He's a light unit, so outside of dark units, he has no, he has no quarrels with any other unit. He's not going to have to, he's not going to be getting hit for type disadvantage. He doesn't have to he doesn't need focus to rely landing on debuffs. He doesn't need high-end attack. He doesn't need any high speed. He doesn't need any high focus. You just throw some HP and defense on that guy. That's all he has to do. And then he just goes in and swings his weapon and then things die. It's crazy. They might do that, Michael. They might wait till they release a new legendary and then nerf them. Instead of nerfing everything, they should really just start buffing things. Buff more, buff more units. Because this whole concept of, you got to nerf some things that are powerful, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because let me explain. Okay. So, let's say Zatlix is the most powerful unit in the game. He's an epic. And they're going to be looking at it from the game perspective. Okay, he shouldn't be that strong because we have all these legendaries. Nobody's using them because Zatlix is so overpowered. So they're going to go ahead and nerf Zatlix because he's that numero uno. He's that, alpha male. And they're going to get rid of him. They're going to nerf him down to crap. They're going to turn him into Swiss cheese. Then what? You know what's going to happen? Another unit will now surface as being that overpowered unit. And what are they going to do? They're going to nerf that unit too. And then what's going to happen? Another unit will surface as the new top unit. There is always going to be a top unit that stands out among all other units in the game. No matter how many times you try to rebalance the game, there's going to always be that one unit that players will find a way to break the game with. So, if you create this nerf first mentality, you might as well hit every unit in this game right now. Because as soon as you knock one down, another one's going to get back up again and take its place. And it's just going to be an everlasting cycle. And all you're going to do is tick off your player base because you're going to keep hitting everything that players are building up. And then you're going to start irritating all the content creators because we're going to get really pissed off making content, trying to help players out for you to go in and nerf every goddamn thing we build. Because now you're going to make players pissed at us because we're making content that's costing them resources because the units we're telling them to invest into, you're nerfing. So it's just going to be a cycle of hatred that they're going to create. They need to start buffing more units instead of nerfing so damn much, because if they'd actually buff more units and bring everything up to more of a level playing field, we can accomplish more that way. And more units would be utilized. Thus, some of the more broken ones wouldn't be the only options that we'd have. We'd have several options, which means more new teams could, emerge. So that's what they need to do. That creates more diversity and more variety. Nerfing everything just doesn't solve the problem. All you're doing is pushing the problem onto another unit. In a never-ending attempt at trying to fix your game with rebalancing that's not working. Just not a good philosophy to go by. Yeah, I know, pound for pound, I'm sorry. I know, man, they just nerf everything that we talk about. I'm afraid to do, I am so afraid to do all this work to get my Urion ready to go to showcase in PvP, for them to go and nerf him. I'd quit the game. I would uninstall this game and just not, at that point I'd be done. Because it takes so long to build up these legendary units with all your resources. The glyph drop rate is terrible. Building a set of gear for this character is not going to be an easy task. It's going to take a lot of stamina as well. And then you got the skill ups right now that's taking a ton of stamina because of bad drop rates. And then you have all the stamina you have to use and EXP jelly you have to use to take the character up to 6-star. And you had to be super, super lucky to pull that unit in the first place, because it is a lighter dark legendary. And then you go and nerf it, like, with no compensation. I'm sorry, 100 gems is not a compensation. That's a joke. That's a slap in the face. Like, man. So they need a recall feature. If they want to nerf and buff everything in this game at will, with no notice, no week notice, no 2-week notice, no notice at all, they're just going to nerf things overnight without letting us know, then they need to put in a recall feature. That way we can go ahead and build up our units freely, use them until they nerf them, and then we can make the decision, do we want to keep using this unit, or do we want to recall them and invest those resources into something else that we already pulled? Because we already earned those resources. We already did the work for those. We should be able to reuse those. If you're going to make the unit I built up for a specific reason unusable for the reason I built them up for. So, I don't know. They need to either do a full-on recall option or do something like that's temporary, like, hey, for, hey, the new patch notes are up, blah, 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 just got nerfed. After the patch notes, you have 1 week to freely recall that unit. Kind of similar to what Epic 7 used to do, where they'd give you like a week or two to recall a unit that got nerfed. And then you could recall them within that 2-week time period, or just not nerf them, or just leave them as they are if you continue to use them. That would work as well. Just something to allow us to recompensate all those resources that we invested into units. Because some nerfs aren't that bad and you can still utilize the unit. Some nerfs are very bad and the unit will no longer function the way you need them to for what you need them to, thus hurting the progression of your account, especially if you're a free-to-play. So you should just have at least the option to recall it if you'd like to. Like, that's all I'm saying. If you're not gonna do more buff first mentalities and do more nerf first mentalities, just give us a recall. It's that simple. And they're like, well, we'll lose money over that. Well, if you're that damn greedy, you're probably not gonna get very much money from people anyway. Because people are not like 2010. This is 2022. We don't buy into companies' bullshit no more. We can see what their main, what their philosophies are when it comes to making money. We can see what their system is in place. We can see right through it. And, if a company becomes too damn greedy, people will leave. They will move on to something else. This is not 2010 where that shit works. It doesn't work like that no more. Players are not stupid. They're smart. They've been smartened up to it. for too many years from too many companies. I mean, we're talking Plarium, we're talking Gummy, we're talking Netmarble, Nexon, Bandai. Come to us. These companies been squeezing our titties for years. They ain't getting no damn more milk. They ain't getting no more milk. No, ain't happening. We done been there, done that, and we're tired of it. Yeah, it's nerf or nothing. Oh, god damn it. That's a good one. That is a good one. Tyler, I have no idea. We haven't had that kind of event for like, I think a month or so. And my cat just tried to climb up the wall. He thinks he's Spider-Man. I think my cat got bit by a radioactive spider. He thinks he's Spider-Man. Spider Kitty. And I thought, wait, am one thought away from uninstall? Yeah, I know a lot of people, it wasn't last patch. It was the patch or two before that. It really hit a lot of people in a negative way, for sure. I've seen a lot of people just trying to brush over it, but it definitely hit really hard. And I knew it was going to, because I saw multiple units getting, you know, changed all at one time. That's too much. Nerfing a unit here and there is already bad enough for a lot of players if you don't have a way to compensate. But when you do multiple at one time, that's devastating. Like, that is absolutely devastating. Just not a great time. And I feel for a lot of players that really suffered from that, especially free-to-plays, because that's really, really hard on them. Because, like I said, these resources, you got to use so much to invest into a character in this game. The resources in this game are stingy. These people that go around and tell you guys these bullshit stories like, this game is so rewarding, it's so generous, this is one of the most generous games I've ever played. That is such a bullshit lie if I ever heard it. The only people that I should ever hear say that are ex-Raid players that's only played Raid, because Raid is by far one of the worst games ever created on the planet Earth. You know why that game makes money? Because they're owned by a multi-billion-dollar casino that knows how to market. They buy some of the best on when it comes to the business, when it comes to marketing. And marketing can make you a lot of money if you know where to market, and they do a very good job at doing so. You ever watched your favorite YouTuber that doesn't play any video games at all, and they ever, you know, and they popped up today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Did you ever see that YouTuber ever play that game? Damn sure didn't, because they don't play the game. But guess what? They promoted your ass to play that game, didn't they? They sure did, because Plarium knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to marketing. That's why they can get away with being probably one of the worst games ever created, but still make a ton of money, because marketing, marketing, marketing. So if your game is slightly better than Raid, that is not a high bar to cross, okay? That is a very, very, very low bar. So when I'm looking at a game like this and people are telling me, oh, this is the most generous thing I've ever seen, I'm like, my eyes are going all over the place, because I'm just like twitching. I'm getting twitches everywhere in my body, because I'm just like, I'm starting to like, I'm phasing out. I'm fucking phasing out. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Have you never played a game in your life? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Oh, Michael, you're killing me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this game has potential. I've said it from day one. I've obviously been very critical of the game. Every time they make a mistake, I will make sure to tell you all about it here on this platform. That's what I've always done for every game I've ever played. I've never shown a bias towards anything. There's only been one game that I've ever actually quit that I quit not wanting to quit because the game was dying, getting ready to close down pretty much. And it's still alive today, but not really. It's kind of like an undead game. And that is Elune from Gameville. That was a game that I actually felt they did a lot of things right. They actually listened to the content creators, the streamers. They listened to the player base. They would contact the content creators directly, spoke with us, took a lot of information. We were making the game a lot, smoother. The game was getting better. They were doing everything in the right direction. They just did not market. They had the complete opposite problem of Raid Shadow Legends. They had a great game, zero marketing. So no one played it. So the game had a dead player base. So there was no views. So no YouTuber wanted to cover the game anymore. So that game kind of just faded into nothing. But that was a game I did not want to ever quit because that game was great. I loved that game. And a lot of other games, though, the demise was right there. It was clear as day. It was going to happen. And most of them did, unfortunately. And with Ace has two options. They can play the long-term game and take money here and there for a long, long time, make a nice profit, and have a very successful game. Or they can go the cash grab route, nerf everything, try and jack up prices, lower the drop rates like they've already done in the past, increase the summon costs like they've already done in the past, and just, make people have to either spend a bunch of money to enjoy the game now, or just quit. And that's the route they've been going at the moment. Now, the wonderful thing about a video game, you can course correct at any moment. You have the power to do so. You are a god in the game. You are its creator. You can do anything you want. You can make the packs cheaper. You can make the game have better drop rates. You can make resources less intensive. You can change things about a character to make them better or worse. You can change the entire makeup, the entire function, the entire feature set. You can change every single thing about the game at any point in time, push it to the players, and then we can either enjoy it or hate it. That's the great thing about a video game. It could be the worst thing in the world, but you can improve it right like that. And it's going to be up to them to decide if they want to make those kind of changes. It doesn't need very many changes either. They need to make the packs a little bit more rewarding. A lot of their packs are garbage, and a lot of people have said that. Even some of the biggest shields in this game have even went on record and said, hey, the packs are not that good. Increase the value of the packs. That would really help the casuals and the whales out. Start doing a little bit better with the rebalancing. That would help the free-to-plays all the way up to the whales out when it comes to investing into characters. Fix the stamina situation. You raise the stamina cap to 160, but that doesn't really do anything when, if we log in at least once every like 15 hours, we're never going to hit that 160 cap anyways. So maybe make the cooldown time for stamina 3 minutes instead of 5. That would be helpful. Maybe, we've made some suggestions in the past where we lower some of the stamina requirements down a little bit on some of the stages. For story, like Mythic is 12 stamina, maybe make that 10. Add epic gear back to story. I don't know why you took that away. And there's various other things you can do as well. Also, of course, add a recall feature. You got to do that. I've given up on trying to get them to take away the old animations. I don't know why they refuse to take them out. By the time they're ready to take them out, they're going to have the animations going so fast, it's going to look like a blink. It's just going to be like a shining light for an animation, because they're just going to keep speeding them up, speeding them up, speeding them up, speeding them up, because they refuse to let you just turn them off. Instead of just letting us turn those off, they just keep speeding them up. And they're starting to look goofier and goofier and goofier. I don't know why they just don't let us turn them off. I mean, seriously. But whatever. But yeah, it's just some ideas that they could do to implement maybe. If they're going to do any of them, I don't know. If they do one or two would be great, but if they do 0, I won't be surprised. Wolf, I guess it's your interpretation, I guess, of how you consider them one way or another, I suppose. To me, a shill would be somebody who comes out, looks at a patch note, reads it, knows it has a bunch of negative side effects in it for the majority of the player base, and then sits there and goes on for 5 to 10 minutes and gives you a monologue of why those negative effects were positive effects when they in fact were not. That's what I would consider a shill. If a whole bunch of units got nerfed all at the same time that you never complained about last week or a week before, but now that they've been nerfed, now they're a problem. That's a shill. How many people complained about Charles in this game the first month? Nobody. How many people complain about Nathalia right now? Nobody. But if Nathalia got nerfed next week, I guarantee you some shills will be out there saying, well, she was too strong. She needed to be nerfed. Bullshit. And you know it would happen. You know it will happen. Nobody at all is complaining about Nathalia. Everyone is saying, go get Nathalia, build her up to 6 stars. She's amazing. She's a great unit. I love her. She's fantastic. But if she got nerfed, damn well you will see shills out there saying she needed nerfed. Even though they're not complaining right now because they're using her. But they'll defend it if she gets nerfed. You watch. It'll happen. It's like clockwork. Well, see, the main Discord has had this problem all the way back in CBT. See, I was their martyr. They made me their martyr. They did it to me, and I was the first one to go public with it. And they thought that in their logic, this is their logic, if somebody says anything negative about this game, they need to be silenced. At all costs. They need to be silenced. They need to be banned from the Discord. They need to be banned from Facebook. They need to be, blocked on Twitter. Whatever other social media they're using. They need to just be completely silenced. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not removing reviews off of the app stores as well that are bad. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they're paying for reviews on the app store. A lot of companies do that. That's a normalcy. A lot of companies out of Asia love to buy reviews to get their ratings up on the app store. They do that all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not doing that too. Man, Darth, what's up, my boy? I watch you all the time. I swear to God, every time I see you, you look like Shaun White. And if you don't know who Shaun White is, ladies and gentlemen, he's a pro snowboarder. Every time I see Darth, I think Shaun White. I can't help it. I can't get it out. I can't get the similarities out of my mind. But yeah, Darth, they do that all the time, dude. Like, they've been doing it for going on almost a year now. They've created themselves a vacuum inside their Discord. If you say something negative, even if you say it in your own Discord, your own platform on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, whatever, they still, and somebody shows one of the mods that you said that, anything negative, they will ban you. Yeah, that's terrible. Darth, that's what I said. I've said a million times, I said, Ace and Borden are going to ruin this game. Because Ace and Borden have a god complex. Let me tell you guys a story real quick I've never told anybody on YouTube. So, let's take this back a minute. In CBT 3, that's when I started covering this game on YouTube. I played this game back in CBT 1 when it was 4 elements. And then I tried it again in CBT 2 when I believe it was called Age of Magic. CBT 3, they finally settled on the name Awaken Chaos Era. And a lot of different changes were made to the game. They removed the air element. They added the light and dark elements. Your boy Abaddon used to be a blue unit and his name used to be Harold. Spin that around your head for a minute. Anyways, so I started to notice a trend all the way back in CBT 3 to 4. CBT 3 was the peak of this game, and it's unfortunate that a lot of you will never know what the game used to be in CBT 3. It was by far the best this game ever was. Well, anyways, CBT 4, they made everything 10 times harder during a CBT where you're supposed to test things, stress test things out, and see how far you can go, and then of course give them feedback and tell them if there's any bugs or if anything was too powerful or too easy or too hard, and give them that advice and feedback. Well, we found out in the first week of CBT 4 that there was a stamina problem, big time. You know what their fix was? They had to give us 20 meal tickets a day for the remainder of the CBT 4 just so we could even play the game and clear events. You guys think events are bad right now? You should have saw them in CBT 4. We had to have 20 meal tickets a day just to complete them. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And back then I told Ace and Borden, I was in voice chats with Borden a lot of times. I was streaming in that Discord about 10 hours a day, almost every day, doing a lot of hero builds and testing units out, that they told me straight to my face, we will not nerf this unit. We will not change that unit because that would hurt free to plays. And you know what they did by global launch? I'm sorry, soft launch? They nerfed half of them or changed half of them in a different way than what they used to be. And that's just one indication of where you can't take anything they say as factual, because they will turn around and do the opposite immediately. And they do it often. And another thing too is when I got into it with Ace back in, I believe it was September, it might have been, of last year, whenever it was, I was so fed up with Ace and Borden refusing to take any feedback or acknowledge anything they're doing is wrong, that I went to my own personal Discord, my Discord, and I basically called both them and the moderators stupid. I essentially just called them stupid. They lack education, they lacked experience, they did not fit the roles that they were given, they don't know what they're doing. This company has never had a resume for a gacha game before, and they're just making a Raid Shadow Legend clone. They didn't like that. And it was somebody from my Discord that sent them that message, and they shadow banned me overnight without even telling me a damn thing. Asking me why I was mad. They didn't ask me nothing. They just shadow banned me. So I made a video telling people about that. And they seem to still think to this day that what they did was okay. And I'm still sitting there thinking, that makes no damn sense. At the time, I was the biggest YouTuber consistently covering this game because it was still closed beta. They thought that they were going to get into Bagel's DMs, give him some X's and O's, and hope that he was going to take the bait. Well, guess what Bagel did? He gave him the middle finger and said goodbye on his way out the door. So you know who their next target was? You guessed it, Stu Gaming. and then who are they going to target next? I don't know. It's going to depend on if Stu keeps tolerating their shit or not. I don't know. That's up to him. But that's what they're doing. They're trying to find somebody that they can leech off of on the platform that'll say anything that's good, or say as many good things about them as they can, because they want to live in this vacuum, this little echo chamber that they've created in their Discord, where everything that they do is okay and it's acceptable. And if anyone has anything negative to say about the game or the people that are running it or managing the Discord, they're wrong and they need to be banned immediately. Darth, microtransaction. Do you want me to tell you what Ace told me when I actually added him back as a friend and tried to hash out my difference with him? Do you want to know what he told me? He said, and I quote, "I'm black." That is what he told me. It had no context. It had no bearings on the conversation in any way. He simply just said, "I'm black." And I'm just like, what is that supposed to mean? And I still don't know what that means to this day. That's what he said. I even have the messages to prove it. He just said, "I'm black," and then that was it. Made no sense to me at all. I don't know what that means, Chaos. That's what I'm like. I don't know what that was like. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know, Michael. He pulled the race card for something. I don't know why. It did make no sense to me. Very weird. Yeah, because that was never even part of the conversation. I was telling him why the game, how they need to handle the game properly. I have all the messages. There's too many. But if you guys want to know more, just go to the Discord and ask in the Awaken Chaos chat. I'll post some of the messages in there. But yeah, he just pulled, I'm black, and then that was it. I'm like, okay. And what does that matter to the conversation? It just didn't make any sense to me. How do we go from talking about a game and the problems that you are with inexperience and then you say you're black? Like, I don't get it. Whatever. Well, this is what I told them. I told them, I said, Ace and Borden is inexperienced because here's the problem. They don't have a track record of making a mobile game, let alone a gacha game. And when I was asking them some questions and talking to them privately, they were coming back to me with some of the weirdest things I've ever heard. Borden was asking me, does Americans even like gachas? Because every time we say it's a gacha, nobody wants to play. And that to me didn't make no sense, considering that Genshin Impact is one of the highest grossing games in the mobile market. That didn't make any sense to me. And then you got them saying that they don't think people should reroll because that costs the company money. And I'm sitting there telling them, dude, if you can't reroll on a gacha game, your gacha game is dead on arrival. Because rerolling is one of the most crucial aspects of any gacha game, especially for free-to-plays and casuals. They want to get the best start they can. So if the game is not reroll accessible, no one's going to want to play it. He's like, well, rerolling will cost us money. That's like giving away free stuff. I'm like, that's the whole point of a reroll. It's the one time that you ever get to decide your own fate in an RNG-based game. Rerolling. It is so important, in fact, that companies, instead of fighting it, are now starting to embrace it. They're now making built-in reroll systems for their games so you can get a bunch of pulls at the start and pick which ones you want. A lot of companies are now starting to embrace it because they know it's a crucial aspect of their game and they know that people will not play if they can't do it. So they were saying things like that, like, oh, we don't want rerolling. And I'm just like, what the hell? And then they were telling me, and then Ace would tell me, oh, how many hours do you guys expect to play a game? You should only be playing a mobile game for like an hour. I'm like, for one, you shouldn't be dictating how long we, the player, wants to play the game. The longer we're playing your game, the more money you're making, because that means that's more opportunities for me to decide to pull out the wallet and pay for a few packs here and there. If I'm only playing for 5 minutes, you might as well call this goddamn game an idle game and move on. Because I want to log in and I want to play. If I want to farm for 12 hours a day, I'll farm for 12 goddamn hours a day. Like, that's what a gacha gamer is into. That's our thing, man. We're all into that weird farming kink. We all got a fetish for farming, all right? We like to sit there and see the same shit over and over and over again all damn day. That's just our fetish. That's what we're into. Okay? We're all a bunch of deviants, and this is what we do. We are gacha players. We love to farm and grind all damn day. If you take that ability away from us, don't call this a gacha game. We're going to move on to something else. So it was just stuff like that that I was getting responses to that made me just come up with the conclusion, these guys just simply don't have the experience to do this. And how easy people were getting banned left and right for just simply expressing themselves, that showed me that as community reps, they don't know how to handle a community. And I'll tell you right now, I've worked with some really bad game companies, some real scummy ones in the past. Hell, I've even had to deal with people dealing with vendor problems. And if you don't know what a vendor is in the mobile world, I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot of shady shit in that world. And I've had to deal with a lot of those people. And even after all that, Ace was probably by far the worst community rep I've ever seen in a mobile game in my life. And that's just the honest to God truth. I don't know who it is that owns this game, but they need to get to message the admins in the Discord. It's hilarious. Oh, to get the message to ask them. Oh yeah, definitely, Darth. I'm telling you, man. If there's one big negative in this game, it's definitely the community rep, for sure. Definitely the biggest issue. And it is so stupid too, because I tried to give them so much information and advice, and they're sitting there trying to, they were trying to like turn it around that I'm trying to dictate the game in the way I want it to be made, which made no sense to me, because I was taking all of the, you know, suggestions that they have in the Discord. I was taking the top suggestions and I was telling them why those were the top suggestions. And they didn't want to hear it. They're like, it's not what we want. That's not the direction we want to take it. It's like, are you making the game for yourselves, or are you making the game for us? Because we're the ones playing and paying. So are you making your own personal plaything? Because that's not how you make money in a business. You got to cater to the demand of the consumer. The consumer is going to tell you what they want to buy, what products they're looking for. If you can't provide them with that product, they're going to go buy from someone else. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, here's the thing too, Darth. They had 4 betas that were all different from each other. So they initially they didn't do anything. They accomplished nothing. What was the point of having 4 betas and a soft launch, and you're still nerfing and balancing a whole bunch of units because you're now finding out that they're broken? You know what would have helped find out that information a lot sooner? The closed beta test. But guess what? We couldn't do that stuff in the closed beta test because they made the closed beta test so damn hard to clear anything, because they wanted to stress test us. They even said that too. They wanted to stress test the players and not the game. What the fuck? You're supposed to go into a closed beta to rush to the end game so you can tell the developers if there's anything wrong, and the developers can look at the data and see that, you know, some units are just used way more than others. Some characters are getting through the game too fast, more than they would like them to, and a whole bunch of other different stats and data and stuff like that that they analyze and they take into account, and then they of course get that all prepared and ready to go, bundle up in a bow and ship it out for global. But the problem is, they didn't do any of that stuff in closed beta. So then soft launch became you guessed it, a CBT 5 without a wipe. That's literally what closed beta test 5 was. It was the soft launch. And you want to talk about desperation and really demanding a lot from your players, but not even willing to take their advice? How about throwing up the cash shop on a CBT 3, CBT 4, and a soft launch? There you go. You want to know why players were so pissed off and treating the game as if it was pretty much a launch game in closed beta? Because you had a fully opened cash shop. And if you're already expecting players to buy and invest into your game, that game better be damn near ready to go. It better be polished up, looking all nice and shiny, and ready for the red carpet. But then we had a soft launch. So they got to extend it for another 2 months and milk more money. I mean, it's obvious. And that to me is why I'm a bit worried that this game has a more short-term goal in place than a long-term one, because of how needy for money that they've been since all the way back in closed beta test 3. They got a bunch of money and a bunch of feedback in CBT3, but they still felt the need that they had to go into another closed beta, change a bunch of things that we didn't ask them to change, make the game even harder. Nothing got tested. So then when soft launch came out, they had to rinse and repeat yet again. And now in global, they're still going to have to probably rebalance a lot of units that they're going to feel that are too powerful. And it's just going to be a continuing trend here. I don't know. Oh yeah, Darth, that is right. That's a good point. That's a good point. So from CBT 4 to soft launch, they actually increased the prices of the packs. So all the players who spent early who were supposed to get an additional big bonus really didn't get much of a bonus at all. And on top of that, they decided to increase the summoning cost from 100 to 150. So that also did not help. So yeah, that was also kind of pretty shady as well. And I'm still waiting for my CBT reward that we were promised forever ago. Where's that at? Where's my custom skin for characters? Where's my custom avatar frame? Where? I don't see it. I ain't got shit. Yeah, that's the problem, Darth. They keep moving company names around. They keep changing things. It's hard to like pinpoint them and get them and navigate them. I saw that if you look at some of the reports in California, Century Games has gotten into a lot of legal trouble over the decades, even here in recent years. So they've had to move some things around because you got to deal, because when you're talking about this game, you're talking about Jade Interactive. You're talking about Ace Studios. You're talking about Century Games LLC, Century Games Limited, Century Games Publishing, Century Games Company. You're talking about DNDN. You're talking about Fun Plus. All these companies are associated together, and they're all moving assets here and there all over the place. So they can't be targeted. And it's probably a lot of tax evasion and other shit like that going on as well, I'm sure. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. No, Gully. No, it's not made by a Western company. No. It's just they have offices out here in California. I believe they're in San Francisco, in fact. Oh my god, we're still not done with this. What the hell? Oh boy, we've been at this, guys, for almost an hour and 50 minutes. It's crazy. They could be. They could be, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, like, I mean, to keep a story short, sorry we got a little bit off course here. We went like all into politics and stuff here, which I usually don't do. But basically, yeah, like the game has a lot of potential. Like, if I'm being real with you all, the game has a lot of potential. I love the game. I wouldn't be playing it right now if I didn't. I wouldn't have played it for so long and put up with so much bullshit if I didn't. It's just, I think, yeah, the company's probably shady. They're probably doing a lot of shady tactics, but can I really fault them for that? All the companies out of Asia are probably doing that for the most part. Matter of fact, I know some of them that are. It's just part of their business strategy, unfortunately. But as long as we're able to enjoy what we're playing and get out of the game what we pay for, whatever, on our end, it's fine. Let the business people take care of the business people. But what really got me, really just irked about this game, it's just the management. The community reps are just a problem. The community reps, the moderators they're bringing in, the vacuum that they're creating over there, their echo chamber, it's just not good for the game. because you're not allowing criticisms to get through. You're not allowing feedback to get through. And then it gets to the point where, like, do the developers even know we have a problem? Because if the community reps are the only people that are sharing that information between us and the developers, if they're that only bridge, they could be telling them everything the opposite of what we're saying. And from the scummy shit I've seen Ace and Borden do already from the past, I would not put that past them to make the game more about what they want it to be than what we want it to be. And that is the biggest problem for me with this game and it ever getting better. How much of what we're saying is actually making its way to the developers? Are they actually aware of the problems that we have? I do not know. I don't know what their hierarchy system is. You know, I don't know how much power Ace and Borden actually have over the feedback we're actually processing through on the, you know, on the various platforms that they have the game on social media, the marketplaces, the reviews, the Discord. Like, how much of that stuff is actually breaking through to the developer? I don't know. And that's the problem. We don't know, and we'll never know. And, you know, we just gotta hope, which is a dangerous word because it comes with a level of expectancy. And we'll have to see, I guess. But I tell you what, February, the first week of February will be very telling because that's going to show us, hopefully, the revenue report for this game on iOS and Android for this month. And this month included their major global release, which is by far the biggest week in any game's lifespan, because that's the chance you get to make your first impression to the world. And that's when you're going to make some of your biggest money. That's when you're going to really draw in new players. And a lot of things happen. And if their numbers don't look good, then you guys know what's going to happen. So we'll have to see. February is going to be very, very telling for this game's future for sure. Right now, we're just going to have to stick it out and enjoy it the best we can. I'm actually kind of glad I was banned from that Discord because it's probably a blessing in disguise, because it allows me to not have to deal with any of that bullshit or drama, and I can just focus on making videos for you guys as best I can that you all enjoy. So there's that to be thankful for. Honestly, Darth, it's probably not even Borden that is the issue. I think it's Ace's influence on Borden that is the issue. Because I feel that Ace is a little bit too controlling and egotistic. And in some cases, he probably treats Borden like a lapdog. And because of that, Borden then causes some issues of his own because he's doing what he's told by Ace. And honestly, outside of just inexperience, I haven't really had a lot of problems with Borden myself either. A lot of it was with Ace, to be honest. Ace was definitely the majority of the problem. Borden, I just felt, had inexperience. But you can learn from inexperience, you can develop from inexperience, and you can get better. There's a lot to learn, and you can get better over time, and you can actually become really successful at what you do. So I have to agree with you, Darth. It's probably mostly just, it's probably Ace, to be honest. Yeah, Michael, that's how they're banning people, man. They're looking at the surveys like, all right, this person doesn't like any of this stuff. Find out what game ID they have and ban that account. That's funny. It's sad. It's sad, but it's funny. We have 80 people watching live and only 39 likes. We got to fix that ratio, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, I just went crazy here on the microphone with a sore throat, almost dying over here. Told you guys so much information. Drop a like if you love it. Woo! Oh, man. But yeah, thanks again, Darth, for stopping by. I watch you on occasions, man. And every time I see you, I swear to God, I can't think of nobody else but Sean White. And if you don't know who Sean White is, ladies and gentlemen, go look it up. No problem, mister. Hey guys, Kendo here. Just came to see what's this live about while perfecting my gear. Oh, we're just having story time. We're having some story time here while we're farming this dungeon forever. This dungeon just does not want to give me the drops I need. We've been going on for 2 hours in this dungeon, and we still don't even have enough skill ups for our boy Urion. It's crazy, dude. Lake Anderson. I'm not familiar with that one. I'd have to go back. I'd have to look that one up. I probably know who it is, but I just can't put a face to it right now. Keep spamming the like button. Thanks so much, Lucky. I much appreciate it. Is Asrina worth building? Asrina she's okay. It's just the only thing I hate about Asrina is she lacks a lot of damage because she's been rechanged she's been changed like 4 different times now, and she doesn't have an ignite unit to pair up with properly to really make use of her damage output. So she kind of lacks a little bit there, but as a free-to-play fire unit, she's decent. You could use her for a little while, especially for Tulpa. But keep in mind that Aurak is free to play now because he's in the event shop and he's far superior to her. So if you only need one good fire DPS, I would go and build up Aurak instead of Asrina. If you're free to play or casual, I would not buy the foodies from the shop, no. For 80 gems, no, I would not buy those. I would only buy the daily stamina for 30 every day. That's it. If you obviously are going to spend more money on the game, then I guess it doesn't matter, but I wouldn't do it as a free to play or even a light spender. Yeah, you can run both together, Anders. You can run Asrina with Aurak for sure. If you need 2 fire DPS, you could go that route for Tulpa for sure. Yeah, I like Aurak and with Asrina, Connor, and I'm trying to think who. I mean, I guess you could throw in another DPS. I mean, before you could use Valak, but he got nerfed to the ground now, so I don't think he's going to be as viable in Tulpa anymore. Desmond would be really good if you pull him, but obviously he's a legendary, so Desmond would be good there. Zetlin would be amazing there, but he's also another legendary. Jacob's pretty good there. Scarlet's pretty good there, both epics. I guess you could use Rogue or Ricard. Those would also be very valuable. I said viable. There we go, if I could speak. Viable options. Man, we've been doing this forever. I did not think the whole stream was gonna take this up. This is crazy. When do we've got now? We got 343 of these damn crystals, and only. Oh my god, dude! This drop rate is so bad. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, we started with like 54 of these. We're up to 343. We started with like, what, 7 of these or something like that? So we've gained 22 of those and over almost 300 of these. Oh my god. That is insane. That is insane. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody asks, if you're a new player, do not build legendaries. It is disgusting. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, Anders. I'm having, like, I know I'm having really bad luck, but still, that is crazy. I think I needed 50 of these, and I'm only sitting now at, oh man, I need 21 more. This is brutal. I didn't even calculate how much stamina we've already used. I don't even know how many 10 runs we've done. I'd have to go back and watch the live stream over again and actually see how much stamina I just used, because I don't know how much stamina we started with. I think we started with like, was it 131 meal tickets? It might have been 131. I don't know. I'll go back and look later and then see where I end up with, and then I'll know how many meal tickets I used. But I know I've used probably a ton trying to get this done. Are you asking if Virgil is good solo? Is that who you're meaning? Virgil? Does Hakron, Charles, Rodira, Anna work for normal tower tied? Hakron and Charles and Rodira and Anna. Yeah, that team could work for normal tower and tied. I don't know if it'll do tied 12. You might get hit with a 50 round, which means you'll get kicked out and you'll lose the fight regardless because you'll get timed out. Well, let me see. Hakron, Charles, Rodira, and Anna. If you target the right side boss first and then go for the middle, you might be able to have enough damage output to do tied 12 with that. You'll definitely be able to do tied 10 and 11 with that team. It's just 12, you might get timed out. It's going to really depend on your gear. Because Anna and Charles are going to have to kind of, you know, race against the clock there. You have to take the right side out first and then go for the middle. But that'll definitely work for normal tower for sure. You just got William. Congratulations. William's a great unit. Scarlet is a fantastic unit for Tulpa and even for Guild Boss. Very, very good unit. Just a shame she doesn't have her team anymore. She used to have a full bleed team with Avera, Helmar, and William. Or you could run Marion Shadowblood with Helmar and William. Any combination of those two teams was very, very good in closed beta. But Avera no longer has bleeds like that anymore, and neither does Marion Shadowblood. So the bleed team kind of died. And now, of course, with William's nerfs too, he's not going to be as effective with the skill ones either. But still a solid unit. Yeah, I'm going to try to see how many I have then, because what is it? It's an 8. You know, actually, let's check right now. I'll just lose a few stamina here. I don't care. But you don't do that if you're free to play. Don't exit out of a multi-battle until it's in between runs, because you will lose all the stamina. Just keep that in mind. Let me see here. Oh, throwing packs in my face, boy. They always want my money. Hey man, there's some compensation. Here's a meal ticket for wasting 100 meal tickets. Oh, you gotta love it. It's hilarious. All right, let's see what we can do here. What's the damage? All right, we're gonna pop 2 of these skills real quick. I still need to use some of these light crystals for, I think, Light Cane as well. I don't remember if I got him done or not. All right, so we need... 1. We need... Okay, so we need 21 of these. Oh my god. We have enough. We still need to have 150. Okay, I mean, it's not bad, I guess. It'll have to do. We can at least start farming lower stages now to get just more of those. Alright, so actually, do we have enough to probably get these all up to... No, we don't. That's a rip. Alright, so we need 3 more. No, we need 53 more. And then we're finally done. We only have 2 more to go, and then he's fully done. So I'll just go ahead and do that off camera. And I'll try to get him ready to go. I'll try to farm some ash for you guys as well. And hopefully I'll feature him. Hopefully by tomorrow or the next day. And maybe a put together team for PvP. So hope you guys all enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream now. Got to go get kids and stuff like that from school. So hope you guys all enjoyed. I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks so much, Darth, for showing up as well. That was a unexpected surprise. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, guys, if you guys want to see more. For those of you that are watching later, hope you all enjoyed. Sorry about the rant in between. We got very carried away. Had a lot of fun with it, though. And, yeah, we're going to try and finish off our boy Urion. Very excited to hopefully showcase him soon. That's going to be it for me. Take care. Have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, check notifications, join the Discord in the description below as always. And like today's video. Follow me on Twitter at XPlays, and I'll catch you guys later. Until then, peace.